I am so excited to share with you all of the beautiful projects that we're going to be doing for June and how our DIY embroidery pattern project turned out. So here we are. So if you remember in my last Wednesday DIY video series, I showed you how to take your own rubber stamps and acrylic stamps and make your own embroidery pattern. So this is what I had stamped onto the fabric, and that's what I embroidered, and that's how it turned out. And then, if I can get hold of it, this is the heart stamp that I put on, and that's how it turned out. And this was the teacup stamp, and that's how it turned out. So I hope that you are going to enjoy being a part of my creative community as I take you on this journey with me of how to make your own embroidery pattern kits. And you will need cotton fabric, a neutral color. You can do this cream colored or you can do white. So either one works really nice. So you can have a nice white cotton fabric. This is more like a muslin. So if you wanted to just get a white muslin or this beige cream colored muslin, that's fine. Now we are going to continue, and we're going to be making in the June, starting June, first week of June, a cactus embroidery pattern, and we're going to stitch that together. And I'm going to be showing you the stitches that I use. So for the heart, I did the satin stitch, some French knots. For this button grouping, I used the back stitch, and that was just basic stitches for this. And then for the teacup, I just did basically an outline stitch and then a little satin stitching right here, and then a French knot here for that cherry, and then I'm going to come in here for the leaf and then just do a little bit of satin stitch for that. And so this project, what are we going to be doing with these after we have finished the embroidery? So you may want to just take this and stitch the fabric together. You just fold it all in if you want to cut it large enough, and then you just attach those corners, you just sew them together. You could do that, so you could make the piece large enough to do that, and then it could actually be a decor piece that you just hang on the wall using this, but that's going to use up a lot of embroidery hoops. And yes, you can get them pretty cheap now on Amazon, but I'm not going to go that route. So what I wanted to do with you is show you how we're going to take these embroidery pieces that we make, and we're going to turn them into a slow stitch piece that can be either put into our soft book. So let me get one of my soft books, which I have right here. I think the blue one has got a little bit more finished inside, and I attached that. So let me look at all these pages here. Okay. All right, so now this is just a pocket here. But this book here, all I'm going to be doing is adding more embellishment that I want to put onto these pages here. So I just want to use this as an example. It's not going to be what I would put this in. But what I want to do is make a new soft book with you here on my channel using my pink soft book. So that's the one that has a lot of pages in it. And so let me get that one, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to add this embroidered piece to that using slow stitching techniques. All right, so here's my pink soft book. This is a kit in my Etsy shop, and the kit comes with enough supplies to make the cover, and then you have the inside pages, the felt and batting, or you can choose flannel. So this page here is where I left off and need to actually attach all of these pieces here. So I'll just flip that over. So now here's a blank page. So now this embroidery piece is going to go here on this page. So as you can see, I just want to flip through the rest of this book so you can see what you get. So you get 3 pieces of felt and 3 pieces of batting. So that gives you a lot to embellish. And what I did is I alternated felt, batting, and then this is the last pieces here. And I had to splice the 2 batting pieces here. Okay, so I have 1, 2 front and back, another 2 front and back. So you can see quite a lot to do. So we're going to finish this book up using these embroidery pieces that we make. So now what we're going to do to turn this into the slow stitching, to be able to go into this book on this page, is to actually start adding fabric and lace into all of this open space here. So that's what we're going to do today now, is we're going to turn this, I'm going to show you how to turn this into a slow stitch piece that we can actually put in our book. So you can see all of these other pages have very different techniques going on. This was a snippet roll. This was one of my yo-yo hearts, pocket here. This is a flip up page here, over here. This was all my pink lace kit. This is in my Etsy shop. So absolutely love how this is all coming together. It's just so beautiful and so amazing, so different. And on my community tab, I did a poll and I asked you what future videos topics would you like to see. And so I had 3 choices, and you picked doing the little people series, and the most popular was actually doing this DIY embroidery, making our own embroidery patterns. So that's what I'm focusing on for the month of June. So now what we need to do is go through our stash. Now since this is my pink book, as you can see very clearly, I mean there's other colors that I have incorporated in here. Lots of neutrals, but the dominant is the pink theme. There is no doubt about it. This is a pink theme soft book. And so that's where I want to continue with that. So I'm going to look through my supplies. Now you may already have a soft book that you've made. You may have purchased one from me. You have made it from watching my video, using your own supplies. So if you need to do that, then I would suggest taking these next couple of days and go back and watch that video for the making your soft book. I'll link it in the description below. And then you can get your book pages constructed. And you don't necessarily need to worry about having the cover completed at this time. This is my cover. But And I think this is like a 6 by 12. Let me measure it here. Yeah, more or less 6 by 12. Size cover, 12 and a half, I think is what I wound up doing. But if you just get all the pieces together and then you decide, so that was 3 pieces of felt, 3 pieces of batting. If you have only felt, if you have only batting, then that's fine. Do 6, you want at least 6 pages. 3 is too small in my opinion. So this was 3. And I mean, yeah, it's nice. I mean, as you can see, it's very nice. I mean, I do like it. Oh, I gotta attach that one. Okay, this is the back, and I have to finish on that one. Okay, I love this blue and purple theme going on in here. Absolutely gorgeous how this turned out. I'm so happy with how it looks. Just beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. These darling little dogwood ceramic buttons. Just love it all. Don't you just love it all? Makes you feel so good, so happy. And this cover, absolutely just stunning. Oh, turned out gorgeous. I found this brooch at an antique mall kind of a thing here in my area. And oh, just love this material, everything that I put together with this. The little cluster there, the inside pieces, everything has a memory attached to it in a great, beautiful thing. So, okay, let's get started. So now, before we jump into that, I want to show you really quick. Okay, so the first project for June is going to be the cactus pattern. Now, if you want to follow along using your own acrylic stamps or your rubber stamps, get those out. If you happen to have any succulents in your stash, then get those out. So I wanted to show you my album. This is just the acrylic stamp album that I have. And there's more. So most of these came out of card making kits. I have nautical theme, tea party theme. Okay, so here's a teacup with a succulent on it. Okay, so you see that right there? So that's a succulent. This is in the top of that teacup. So that, if you have something like that, you know, anything like that. So if you want to, you know, like I'm saying, I mean, you could just maybe not do a succulent theme, but do a plant theme. Maybe you have something else. Okay, that fell out of the pocket. A lot of butterflies, a lot of word sentiments. So, and then I have tons more that were in other card making kits that I don't even have put in here yet. I've got a lot of birds. So everything that's in here that is big enough is going to be a future video project here on my channel. So that is going to be fun. The next one after the succulents is going to be a flower theme. So these are all of my flower on this one page. There's the leaf pattern, this flower pattern. Anything large. I want something large so that's easy for us to embroider and for me to teach you to so that you can see it. This is good too. This can be done because it's very easy to just do your straight stitching around here, your back stitching, your split stitch, whatever you want to do with that, however you want to do it. The same thing here, just outlining it is basically what we're going to do. Okay, and then the centers here can be like a satin stitch. The leaf can be all of a satin stitch. So, but this is going to be something that would be the next thing. So to get the free succulent pattern, if you would like to follow along and get the free succulent pattern for June, then join my Sunshine Makers Club mailing list. It's free to join, and then you get the first to know of anything new coming out for my Etsy shop, my YouTube channel, and any perks that come out and freebies. That's how I get them to you. So you would have to join sunshinemakersclub.com, go there, fill out the mailing list information, and then every week for June, I will be sending out that newsletter with that free pattern in it. So whatever time you're watching this video, so this is May 30th, 2024. So for June 2024 is when I'm offering this free succulent pattern. So each month I will offer a different succulent pattern that is a PDF download so you can print it out. But if you have your own stamps, acrylic stamps or rubber stamps, then use those, and then you can follow along with me as we're doing this together. But then we're going to turn it into a slow stitch project. So I have my whole Facebook group, Slow Stitching Sampler, which is based on slow stitching, but embroidery as well comes into play. So the first thing I wanted to do was to get out some of my laces and scrap pieces that would complement this. So I have this little bag here. These are more country colored themes, so I may not find anything in here because this has already got that neutral color going on. But let me just look. So it's a lot of country red, blue, beige going on in here. Darkers, lighters. Okay, so that one is not, that one's not what I want. And then I had a little pile of scraps, but I've got some that were intended for kits. So I don't want to take anything that's supposed to be going in a kit. Let me see. Okay, I've got this piece here. I could use this. Okay. So this is something that I use. Okay. So now I want to decide also, let me get my book. Page that it's going to go on is this one. Okay, so I want to make sure that I'm going to be stitching it to that. Let me see what's on this side. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm stitching it to this page. And then I have this leftover piece here, and I can always wrap it around over onto the other side like that. Okay, there we go. All right, I like that. And the one thing I like about the felt and the batting is that the fabric really sticks to it nice, so that's why you see me, I keep, you know, massaging it, rubbing it on there because it's going to make it stick. All right, now let me look at this scrap piece. And this was a border on a pillowcase that I cut off, and I did that in a video with you guys. And I know plural, you know, when I use plural, it's the community. But you individually, I am speaking to you individually, watching me. But when I say plural, that's the community as a whole. So don't think that I'm not seeing you. I do. Each and every one of you. That comment, that is, because I don't see you if you don't comment, because I don't know your name and I can't appreciate and, you know, mention you. So I appreciate Diane and Linda and Tilly, Regina and Annette. And like I said, I was going to mention, so I have a list, and I'm going to mention all of you. Let me see what I've got. Okay. That are lovely, lovely people who are actually commenting and engaging with me. And I have a whole video about celebrating engagement with your community. And the gifts for that will be going out into that newsletter, that list of names, first week of June. So I will link that video so you can go back and watch it to find out how do you get the store credits for my Etsy shop. Okay, I like that. So do you see, are you getting the feel of this? Is this like, are you beginning, are any light bulbs turning on? Because that is what I am wanting to do here, is get the light bulbs to turn on so that you are beginning to see, oh, how easy this is, Marcia. Thank you for showing us, because it's a lot easier than you thought. Okay, so this fabric came from Hobby Lobby, and I shop there when it's the 40% off week. Now, this particular one has pinks, blues, greens going on, but I don't want any blue necessarily. Like, I got a little bit of blue going on here, but I don't want this darker navy blue going on here. So this one here has got the pinks with the blues. I don't really know if I want that, but I definitely want this green check, the blue, pink check, and the pink flowers that I want. So I like to check the borders and see, are there any of those in the borders, but I really, okay, so then I deconstruct my fabric a little bit crazy wild. I'll admit it. I just go all over the place. Yes, okay, there are. So I like to, I mean, now the bottom pieces that I already cut away are ones that go in my slow stitch kits. So I have vintage fabric and new fabric because I am really running low on my vintage cotton fabric. I have a lot of vintage polyester fabric, but I just don't know how that would look or feel in slow stitch pieces. So I really have not ventured to work with any of those, but I mean, I have a ton of it that I was gifted by my mother's neighbor. And so at any rate, and then I still go to thrift stores and any vintage fabrics that I find there. And I know what's vintage because I know what I've, like, especially when I find things that I have had in the past and I know how old they are. And you can just tell the look of it. And then if it has that manufacturer's edge on there, it gives you a date. So there's a manufacturer date. Okay, so now I'm going to start taking these pieces, just auditioning them, just audition. Not going to be anything set in stone yet. And I kind of like the fringy edges going in here. It's really cute, so I'm going to keep it right at the edge of my button embroidery. I don't want to cover any of that up. And that was so fun and easy to do. Super, super fun and easy to do. Okay, this bigger piece is going to go up here. Okay, this is a duplicate of that. I don't know, I may or may not use it there. It looks cute. I kind of like that. All right. So again, just auditioning these pieces, just getting a lay of the land, just to show you how easy it is to take an embroidery piece and then embellish it, add to it for your slow stitching projects to put in your soft book. So now I'm going to get into my little trim, and this is pink and white, very pretty. I bought this off of eBay probably, I don't even know, like 15 years ago, I think. Quite a long time. Oh, that's cute there. I like that. So this, see, that was a little gap right there. So something like that. That looks cute. I like that. And let's snip that off. Save that end piece. And let's see what else we have. Okay. Thinking I will get make some yo-yos. I'm thinking like maybe a yo-yo up here. I've got some little itty bitty, like that size, and then like an inch size, but like itty bitty little yo-yos I could put maybe a few here, like put a couple across the top here, I'm thinking. I think that would be really cute. I'm not seeing anything else here in my stash that is going to go. All right, so that, now let's look at some buttons. All right, so the basic pieces that I like to do for slow stitching are your fabrics, your laces, your trims, your buttons, your yo-yos, any, you know, floral embellishments, butterfly, you know, anything to do with that category. All right, let's look in here. There's a darker pink button. Okay, all of these here. Okay, here's a nice, like mother of pearl. I love that shiny. That's really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to have the yo-yos here, and then have yo-yos up here. So maybe I'll put this button here, or maybe here, and I might have yo-yos coming down here and down here. I think I like that idea and the look. All right, and then now to attach all of this in place will be more embroidery stitches. So I'm thinking what I will do is maybe do like a cross stitch pattern down here and down here, as well up here, and then the blanket stitch. I love doing the blanket stitch around the edge. I'll do a straight running stitch kind of a thing all around the border, but I do like that. Flat buttons, I don't want to really, now the cover of the blue one, I did put a shank button, but inside on the pages, unless it's something that's really flat, that's pretty. That's kind of just like, it's too blah. I like the darker. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I got 2 buttons. I have a little bit of trim. Okay, and I do want to have a nice piece of pretty lace going across the top. So now let me get some of my lace out and we'll look at that. I have a lot of this. This was gifted to me in that lot from my mother's neighbor. Came from Walmart. Can you believe it? 20 cents a yard. And she bought this whole thing. And then I was gifted it. I mean, it's just like, what a blessing. Thank you, Mother. Okay, so this goes here. All right, so I'm going to put that piece there. I love that. That's going to look really nice there. And then this is going to come here, so that's going to go across that. Isn't that looking pretty? Look at that. Just beautiful already. I love it. And still keeping the focus on the embroidery that I did. So see how beautiful that is? So keep that in mind when you're doing your pieces. If you're going to add it into a slow stitch soft book like this, be mindful of where, especially if you start with the embroidery first, be mindful of the spacing. So in the next video when I do the succulents, I'm going to do it teaching you the opposite technique. So we're going to go the opposite way, which means we're going to put all of the lace and fabric in place first, and I will strategically leave open spots for the cactus embroidery stitching. So I'll reverse engineer this whole technique for you. All right, so I think that is an excellent presentation. I like the way it's coming together. I think it does this book, keeping with the theme and integrity that I'm going with my book. You don't have to do the pink theme. You can do any theme you want. If you wanted to do a blue theme, go right ahead. Do a blue theme, whatever is in your supplies, whatever you have. And you could do the purple, or my purple book. I love it as well. This is my bird and floral kit. This is my purple book. Absolutely love it. I haven't attached the pages in here yet. I don't even know. There might be things that are loose. Okay, yeah, the button. There's still things that are loose in here. And I love this. In this particular book, I have some items that I purchased from other Etsy shops and YouTubers, makers here on YouTube. Roxy, for one, that I have some of her pieces in here. This one over here. This came from one of her pieces. And that there. So I love that, knowing that that's from Italy. So I have pieces in here from Italy. Just absolutely gorgeous. Love, love, love it. Okay, that piece came across there. Okay. Now I will do the 3 little miniature yo-yos. So let me get that and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to use the same fabric. These squares are the perfect size for the templates. Now I use the Clover brand yo-yo makers. I like these. It's just what I've always used. This is the little mini baby one. It turns out so adorable and tiny. And then there's going to be this size. So I'm going to just use a piece of that fabric, and then I'm going to come in here and cut a piece of this fabric. So I'm going to lay it up here. You may not be able to see what I'm cutting, but you'll see me sewing it. So just bear with me a minute. These are probably 3 by 3 inch squares. Let me lay it on here and then I'll be able to tell you. Like 3 1/4 inch. Okay. Cut this apart. So I'm going to use this one. Put your fabric the wrong side up. And then there's little lines and there's little knobs on the underneath. So you just have to turn it, line up the line with the little knob, click it into place. And then you want to round the corners and put it about 1/4 inch away. So if you get these, I purchased mine on Amazon. I do have an affiliate link. I'll put that in the description below, but you don't have to use it. You can do whatever you want. That just helps me to bring you free videos here on my channel. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to make this one. And then on the front of this, there's a number. 30 millimeters is this size. You start here, there's little openings, you go all the way around, so I'll show you how to do that. And then the little mini size, the same thing, put it in upside down. You want that 1/4 inch, you want to line up the same little lines that are on here, and then turn it to get it lined up with the little knob over there on the other side. snaps into place. It won't snap into place and it won't line up the little grooves, so you got to line up those in that order. Okay, now, that's why, you know, saving smaller pieces is important, because it's for things like this. All right, so I already have a needle threaded. Got a, yep, knot in that. So in real time, we're going to sew this. Okay, so you go to the left of that number. It's on the little template, and then just starting from the back, and then you just can, you know, line it up with the holes. Obviously, you're probably not seeing those holes. I'll show you in a minute. I'll get closer so you can see it. This is the easiest way for me. If you can do these freehand, more power to you. But I just never have learned, and I just love the templates. And then you just follow it all the way around until you get back to your starting point. But don't cross over, so you just stop right before it. Okay. And then I like to leave a little bit of a tail from when I tied the knot, so that helps me to grab a hold of that. So this is how I do mine. I put my finger in the middle and I start gathering it up, and then when I get almost to the other side, then I grab that tail and I start pulling it. And then, as you can see, it starts all scrunching together in the middle. So this is the point when you want to start forming it and getting it to be in line a little bit more, getting it to shape what you want, getting all those little, what do you call them? Gathers. Okay, and then now take the, and you want to tie a knot in there, and that's what really brings it tighter. I get mine really tight. I don't know. I just like it like that. Just seems to look nicer to me. The little one is like a little bit sloppier, I guess is what the word is I would put on it. But the other one looks a lot nicer. So let me just trim that. So here's the itty bitty little baby one. Isn't it cute? So adorable. Okay. So I just keep mashing that center to form all of those, to get them to lay down like you want. Okay, so there's one. See? Isn't that cute? Okay, now, all right, this one, the bigger one, so I'm going to put one of the bigger ones over here on this patch here, and I'm going to put the little ones in this area here. Same thing. So here's the number here, and you see all those little grooves? So that's what you're going to go around. And I don't know if I tied a knot in that or not yet, so let me do that before I go through here. So you just come from the back through that first one on the left side of the number. Double check it. No, I did not. Let's put a knot in there. I did not put a knot. Okay. You have to have fun, you know what I'm saying? You know, be silly, have fun. I don't like serious all the time. I went through that, man. With my Lyme disease, I was so depressed for over a decade. It was ridiculous. And just cried all the time and doom and gloom. Felt so sorry for myself. And so I am really coming out of that dark shadow that I was in for 15 years. It's just been in the last 4, but mainly the last 2, that I'm finally able to really get a foothold on this whole, the way I view myself. I'm, you know, if you want to hear my journey, you want to hear my story, then check out my Sunday video series. That's where I'm sharing all of that with you. And I know we all have our struggles. I know we all have our help labels that were put on us. And I'm going to be doing a whole Sunday series on that and how I view those help labels now, and how that is making a world of difference in my overcoming anxiety, depression. And so that, I hope you will tune in for that, because it's going to be life-changing for everybody who watches it, because it's been life-changing for me. Okay, so I will make the rest of these little guys in a flash, off camera, in a second, and then I will be back and show you, so that you don't have to be sitting here waiting and watching me do all this, unless you just love it. But I know you have things to do. I love that you watch my channel, and I'm so happy that you're here watching, but I respect your time and mine as well. Okay, so you see how this is. So now you got to come in here and get those little gathers. Kind of looks like a mess at first, but then if you come back, patiently just get each one of the little folds, and then, you know, with your fingertips, just massage it gently, caress it into place. It will cooperate. All right, then come over here, do the same little thing with the knots. Once you pull that tight, then that cinches it all up, gets anything that was kind of looking loose and wonky back into submission, looking good. And then tie a couple of knots. I like to do 2. You can do as many as you want, but I've never had a problem with it. And I sell these in my Etsy shop, and they've always, you know, they're good. I sell quality things, so I don't sell anything junk and cheap in my shop. That's handmade. The supplies are all high quality. Comes from a pet-free, smoke-free home. Okay, now this one is this pattern here. So I don't want to just put it there. So I'm going to put it up here on this green, and then I'm going to get one of the greens and put the green here, and maybe put the green here or over here. I might do some other fabrics. I don't think I'm just going to stick with all this the same thing. It's not all just like matchy, matchy, matchy. So, but it looks really pretty. I love it. What do you think? Isn't that adorable? Look at how beautiful that is. I think this button does, maybe, I don't know, either that or if I can attach it. Oh, I might, yeah, that might be a thing. I'll attach it up here. Oh, that'll look pretty. Ooh, yeah. That's his spot, but I'm just going to put him there for now. Okay, so let me go finish making up these yo-yos and come back, and then I'll show you that page. And then the next video will be the cactus one we're going to do the first week of June. But then I will finish all of this stitching around here, and then I'll tell you what I did and the stitches and all that kind of thing. All right, just wait for me. Okay, so now comes the fun part of let's do some stitching. Okay, so I'm teaching you 2 new stitches every week. And so we started off with the satin stitch and the French knots, and I've been doing the back stitches, running stitches, stem stitches, anything that's in a straight line kind of a stitch. And so now let's move on, and I use this quite a bit, which I've talked about in all of my videos when it comes to slow stitching. is the blanket stitch. I mean, that's like my all-time favorite finishing kind of a stitch. Border stitch is how I look at it. All right, so now what I want to do first before we get with the border stitch using that blanket stitch is I'm just going to tack down these yo-yos. Now this is one of the pretty yo-yos that Diane sent me. Thank you, Diane. Isn't it beautiful on this page? I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me see. Oh, what? Okay, I'm thinking, all right, let's go with this. This is kind of like a peachy, it's not a really true pink. It's kind of like in a peachy tone. And I got my little cheapy $1 dollar store, $1.25, whatever that is they charge you. Scissors, because my other good scissors are over there on the couch. All right, so we're gonna start off 3 strands of embroidery thread. Now this is just a cheaper embroidery thread. Now I am going to do a whole video series and I am going to purchase different embroidery thread and I'm going to show you here on my channel. So that is going to be next Wednesday's video. So tune in for that. Write it on your calendar right now. Is all about all of the different types and brands of embroidery thread that are out there, because I've been seeing this quite a bit asked in different groups. And so I thought, you know, that would be a great topic for a video. So that's next Wednesday's video. So please, like I said, write that down. And because this came in a kit that I purchased off of Amazon, bottom of the rung, but it does a good job. I don't have any issues with it. I hear people complaining a lot about cheaper embroidery thread issues, but I have not had any of those with this. Okay, so now on this back side, I have removed this little person that I made. This is my little fabric doodle self. I'm learning how to do my art doodle self, which I've become very good at, but this is my fabric doodle self. So we're going to have a whole series on doing your own fabric doodle self, and that's coming up in a future video. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we're going to just attach the yo-yo. And I would really recommend that if you want to improve in your stitching, your slow stitching, your embroidery, then do it right along with whoever it is you're watching. So right now you're watching my channel. So get your supplies out and start stitching right along with me. That's the way you're going to learn, is if you're stitching right as I'm stitching. It's fun and relaxing. And then I'm just going to pop over here while I'm right here on this with my thread, and I'm just going to put a little cross stitch over here in this corner. Cross stitching is a lot of fun. I did that, was my first needlework type of stitching that I learned was cross stitching. And then I went to embroidery from there, and I did counted cross stitch, and I did stamped cross stitch, and then I did a stamped embroidery pattern kit. And it's in a frame, and it's up at the top of one of my china cabinets, so I cannot reach it, but I will have my husband get it down, and I'll show that to you, and then I'll have all my cross stitch pieces that I've made and saved through the years. I have, ouch, have those in a, a little embroidery cabinet. Okay, so I put a little cross stitch in that corner. I'm going to put another little cross stitch over here in this corner. And so once you learn these basic embroidery stitches, which cross stitch is an embroidery stitch, then you can use them in any projects, any sewing projects that you do. Then you can decorate the page or the item, whatever it is, with those embroidery stitches. So that's what is so nice about this. Okay, so now I'm gonna, I might keep that pin there. Okay, so I put a little cross stitch here, a little cross stitch there, and so I'm just going to go ahead and put a knot here on this side, and I like to just attach it to the thread, and then I'll come in and then I'll just sew through the fabric. So I kind of do one or the other of both. Don't you like my really expensive scissors here? Okay, now, all right. Let's straighten this back up so you can see. And then let's go ahead and attach this yo-yo. And as you can see, I am not worried about, and I'm not going to do the blanket stitch yet because I still need to decorate the other side of the page. That's the last thing you would do, but as you can see, I'm decorating all of this before I've done anything back here. All right, so before I attach this, I have a pin in here. I want to tack down this little piece here, so I'm going to have to turn my book so I can get to it. And again, I'm just putting in individual little stitches, placing them in different spots, couching stitches, which is basically just holding something down from one side to the other side. That's how I describe it. So this video has taken me 2 days to complete because my Wednesday I am working a little part-time job from home now to supplement so that I can meet my goal this year of paying off all of my credit card debt. If you've watched any of my Sunday videos, you've seen me talk about that. And so I work whenever the work is available and whenever I can get into the schedule. So that was on Wednesday this week, and I was, oh man, I just pulled the thread out of my needle. So I was exhausted and was up at 6:30 that day thinking I was going to have plenty of energy. But guess what? And then I had to work from 1 to 3, and it was just downhill from there. Oh my goodness gracious. But at any rate, I am on track with my goal, and I'm so happy about that. Just doing fantastic, and I'm so thankful. And my videos are channel. Everybody is enjoying all my videos, and I'm so grateful for you all watching my videos. That was so wonderful. That really helps me. So thank you so much for watching, sharing, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and then you're commenting. All of that helps me to get found in the search here on YouTube so that other people can find my videos. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so it's getting a little tricky down here on this end. And I wanted to tack this piece down, but I want it underneath of that. There we go. Okay, so I am going to put a little tiny, boy, this is as snug as a bug over here in this corner. All right. I'm not going to worry about trying to do some fancy decorative stitch over here. I just want to get it attached at this point. Okay. I am going to go down this edge and just attach, turn it around this way. Get a little awkward there. All right, now I'm going to try to do a running stitch so that I don't have to keep going back and forth. It's really tight over here. Sometimes you're going to be working in a awkward position and a tight space. And the running stitch is a friend to learn. This is an important stitch because you don't have to go and front to back and all that. You're piercing the fabric. Okay, now this is going to be tricky down here. So this is going through several layers. All right, this one I have to go back and get it over here. Going through about 6 layers there. Very snug. Okay, now. There we go. All right. Again, back over to the other side. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is come here and put a knot over on this side. Looks nice. All right, so that has got this piece of fabric attached. This yo-yo is attached. And then now this trim is attached. So now let's work on this other yo-yo. And I am going to go with a lighter color here. I would say what the length that I use is from my wrist to the elbow, or the palm of my tip of my finger to my elbow. Approximately, that's what I like to work with. But you can just learn what you're comfortable with. So you don't want it to be too long, because then it does become difficult to work with. So Just a manageable length so that you're not constantly having to rethread your needle. Okay. And this is kind of like a soft, creamy yellow kind of a color, but it's creamy enough that it will blend in with this perfectly. Okay, so and then I will come here and I'm going to use several different colors on this down here. I'm going to just go right in the center of this yo-yo, come across back over here. Turn the book around again. Okay, and then just look approximately where I, that's not exactly in the center where I wanted it, but that's okay. There we go. It's looking nice. I can very nice. I'm really liking how this is coming out. It's really, really pretty. This is a really thin, delicate fabric here, so I want to really get a hold of that. I can take that pin out of there now. And I'm just, the way I'm doing this over here, it's almost like making a star pattern on that other side, so. And wasn't even really trying to do that, but it's just kind of turning out that way. Okay. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a knot. I'm going to just grab through the center of this, and then I'm going to put the knot here, and then it will kind of just blend away and melt away right into that center. See? So you don't even know, can't even tell that I stitched it there, and then this over here is just a bunch of little dots and X's, so that looks really, really, really nice, very nice. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so now get some of these pieces that are falling off out of the way. Now, okay, so first thing I want to do next is I'm going to stitch this down, and I'm going to use the colors that are predominant on this page. This is another thing that I like to do. And also what I wanted to recommend is make a little, I say make because we're makers. You could get a little notebook, make a little notebook, decorate it up, whatever. This top piece is really thick. It's hard to get through there. And start writing down and documenting your style. And, like for instance, for me, I like to use the colors that I have with the fabric and with my stitches. And like with this button, I just really was making it colorful. I really wanted to focus on just the color, and I wasn't thinking in a matchy way of the pinks and the greens that was happening with the fabric, because I didn't have that vision yet. I was just working on the embroidery part of it. Okay, so where's my thread? Okay, so I'm still way down here on this corner. It's kind of awkward. I'm just going to have to turn it so that I can do it, and I can't keep flipping it every which way for the camera, so I just have to do it what's going to be here for me. Okay. All right, so I'm first going to come underneath this border just so that I can attach it. Like I'm saying, it's really thick. And again, this color is blending right in with this trim color perfectly, so you will not be able to see the stitches at all. But the next thread color I use, you will, because I'm going to use the pink and I'm going to use the green. And I'm not worried about the spacing. I'm just going in just a very relaxing way, but just knowingly where do I need to put the stitches and spacing it out accordingly. And my stitches are generally about 1/4 of an inch. That's a general width that I usually find that naturally just happens. Now let me turn this. I just want to get this edge over here. Make sure this edge is in place. Take that pin out. Then now I'm going to just go across the top here. Oh. I don't know what it is about this edging on this section, but I'm telling you, it is not easy. Just want to get a couple of stitches if I can. Then I'm going to take this pin out. Oh, my word. You would think that I had cardboard or something in there. It's like, my goodness. Giving my little fingers a workout. I just want to get, I'm going to have to use the table. Forget about trying to use my strength. Okay. I just thought a thimble would come in pretty handy. All right. Thank you for bearing with me as I struggle doing this. My goodness. All right, now, so that is holding this piece into place now. This yo-yo, this trim, and this yo-yo here. This, I stitched this up here, so I can really technically take that pin out of there now. I put the button on here. I've attached that yo-yo. So this fabric here is being attached there. Now this piece is being held by top and bottom where I stitched across there. So I think I've done a pretty good job. What do you think? I really do. So I'm going to finish this all up now. And so please, Sunday video will be coming out, and I will be continuing my series on Lyme disease and what I do now, how I overcame all those things, and my debt-free journey, and other pertinent topics along the way that I think would benefit someone. So I'm going to share these things. And then Tuesday is going to be the Tuesday vlog series, and I will be sharing more of activities and fun facts with you. It's always something different. I always come up with things, so I usually sit down and plan it out today and tomorrow, and pre-record them so that I can get them uploaded early. And then next Wednesday, like I said, will be a video, so I will have to be ordering all of those embroidery threads from different companies, all price points, and that is what that video will be about. So please tune into that. That's going to be very educational and beneficial for everyone, whether you're a new person or not. And it's going to be fun for me because I'm usually just using one type of embroidery thread, which has been the DMC brand. But I would like to branch out and try some other brands. I think that would be fun, and plus it is an educational thing for you as well, and I think that would be something that would benefit everybody. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to bring this through here, and then I'm going to tie that off. So if you see what I did there, so I put the knot over here, but then I came over here, went in there, and then now I can snip it so that I don't have that knot and tail sticking up there. So that's just a nice little stitch there. So all of this will be covered up when I do that page. But isn't that nice? I really like how this has turned out. And then next week too, I will show you all of the final stitching that I do. I'm going to do cross stitching, running stitch here, like I did right here. Some more cross stitches here, down on these pieces here. All this is going to be more cross stitches. Then once we decorate this page together, which will be in another video 2 weeks from now, and then I will put the blanket stitch all around the edges of that once that's finished. And then this page here, so I have actually 2 pages that I can do. And this page here I'm going to do a little bit differently. So instead of doing it on the actual page, it's going to be done separately, and then we're going to put it on, and then I'll attach that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. So it's a lot easier for the second page to do it that way. The first page you can actually stitch it all together like you've seen me do here, but when you put the back piece on it, it needs to be all done, and then you can just attach that in whatever way you want to. So this is really pretty. I love each and every page, how each page is so different. So the vision that I get for each one is just so different and unique, and I love that about this. You know, the little flip ups, the pockets, using a snippet roll. I definitely want to do more snippet rolls with you, and just an amazing, amazing journey that this Slow Stitch Soft book has taken me on, and all the embroidery stitches that I'm doing and I'm loving and I'm learning. And so it's just a lot of fun to learn these. And then the ones that I really like and resonate with me, I like this one here. I think this is the fishbone or fishback or something like that. Then I like to do those. I don't. I find that I'm a creature of habit when it comes to my stitching. I like, once I learn something that's easy for me and that I like, then I repeat those stitches. Like the French knots, those are fun. I like those. The satin stitch, that's another easy one. That's fun. I like that. The cross stitch, you know, things like that. But I would like to incorporate maybe a few that I don't do as often. One is definitely the chain stitch. I definitely want to do that. So I will practice. Let's do that. I'll incorporate the chain stitch, and maybe let's do the lazy daisy. That'll be the next one, because that one's a little trickier for me, and I really need to practice that more. So let's do those two together. That'll be the next one. chain stitch, lazy daisy stitch. So that'd be an upcoming video. And then next Wednesday will be all about the embroidery thread, but then I'll show you the final, how this turned out, which is really going to be pretty. Absolutely gorgeous going to. So let me put all my pieces here back in place so that I don't lose any of them. And my little slow stitch doodle person, I love that. That's my little doodle me, little doodle self. I love that. And you're gonna see more of this little doodle self coming up in projects, future projects. We're gonna learn how to do our little doodle self and incorporate them into our slow stitching. So I think this is just, I really am happy. So I have 4 yo-yos, 2 small, 1 mini, 1 medium, thanks to Diane, and then 2 vintage buttons, embroidery stitches, fabric pieces, fabric scrap pieces. So I mean, what a beautiful page this has turned out to be. So how easy it is to decorate a page in your slow stitching soft book. So thank you for joining me here today, and I hope you will subscribe to my community, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe and keep creating in the sunshine.